4, 3, 2, 1. I told you before to be careful where you put your legs.
I was only trying to be helpful.
I can help myself. What are you waiting for? Come on. Come on. What are you waiting for? Come on. Come on.
For 7 decades, Michael Caine has been among the world's most renowned and recognisable actors.
It was just what I needed. A 1-inch god with a 2-inch penis.
Star of classics like Zulu, The Man Who Would Be King, and The Cider House Rules.
It's a miracle no one was killed.
But also films that brought his career to the brink of complete implosion.
I made a mistake.
Somehow, he has always found a way back.
You're a big man, but you're in bad shape. With me, it's a full-time job.
In this epic podcast series, we will watch and review every Michael Caine movie, from the greatest hits
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
to the incredible misses,
You failed to maintain your weapon, son.
and take a deep dive into the life and work of one of the world's most recognisable film stars.
His name is Michael Caine, and no one will forget his name.
Behave yourself.
To understand how he has made the mark of Caine.
Well, you all settled in? Right, we can begin. For God's sake, come in.
Hello and welcome to The Mark of Caine, our ongoing tour through the Hall of Infamy that is the film career of Michael Caine, stopping at every movie for reviewing, whatever the hell it looks like. My name is Michael Foley, joined as always by Stephen Black of the Mallow News Twitter feed. Bonjour, Stephen. There's a little hint there, by the way, about today's movie. Did you like it?
I did. I was very much transported back to Marseille, and thank you very much for that, considering the slight PTSD I'm suffering from having watched the 90 minutes of the Marseilles Contract.
It's the first Caine movie, and I include all of the inverted commas comedies he's done so far, that I spent stretches of this laughing out loud, not enjoying it, but just laughing out loud, going, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I just spent a lot of time laughing at it. I did enjoy it.
Did you?
But not for the reasons that, but not for its original. This, you're not, this isn't a comedy, so not laughing at it because it's a comedy, laughing at it because it's fucking funny.
It's actually one of those movies where I'm not sure what the original purpose of the movie was at all. Like, are you to be thrilled? Are you to be amused? Entertained, perhaps?
I don't know. I mean, like, do you know the whole Roger Corman style of thing? Was it set up as to make cheap knockoff versions of popular box office Jaws? Like, so Jaws is big, so they did Piranha or what have you. This is pretty much French Connection was big. What could we do? Well, we could set it in France. Okay, that's good.
Tick.
We can involve drugs. Yeah.
Tick.
So they're saying the French Connection. Obviously, we have the Marseilles Contract. Sounds good to me.
Tick tick.
It's pretty much it's a French Connection ripoff, but it has none of the things that make the French Connection good, like everything that made the French Connection good, like the people in it, the script, the director, the action,
the editing.
Yeah, the editing. It's like the difference between, I suppose, if you watch the Great British Bake Off and you watch the celebrity version. You get these people, Great British Bake Off, you get these people who say, I don't consider myself much of a baker. I only, in between being a geneticist and mother to 15 children that I homeschool, I also managed to squeeze in some time baking 15 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And then you go to some fucking guy who used to be an EastEnders going, I've never been near an oven. But I presume it can't be that difficult. But again, this is for charity, innit? Yeah.
This is the French Connection to the Marseille Contract. That's the thing right there. Yeah. Right. As you guessed, we are deep in Caine kitsch today. I think there's a leather jacket we need to talk about. There's a car chase. There's a scene where he wheelies off riding a motorcycle. He can't put a dead man in a wardrobe. It looks like he needs a chiropractor after some 10-pin bowling.
You can't put a dead man in a wardrobe like me personally. I've had a tremendous experience of putting dead men in wardrobes. It's a lot easier. It's all in the folding, isn't it?
It's all in the folding. It really is. It really is. And it's the way it just falls out and smashes everything when you can't do it. Oh God. Anyway, all in the cause of a thriller, a narco thriller, if you will, with Anthony Quinn and James Maaasssoon.
James Maaasssoon.
It's called the Marseilles.
I used to be quite the actor in my youth. Look at me now. I'm in the south of France and I can barely move. I used to be a star.
It's got the Marseilles Contract. Shut up.
Shit. It's all gone to hell.
Michael Caine.
Are you in Marseille for business or pleasure, Mr. Dowers?
Well, both, really.
Anthony Quinn.
I have information that a large shipment of drugs is coming into Marseille.
James Maaasssoon.
Here's somebody.
How much?
The Marseilles Contract.
In the famous words of Spinal Tap, if you haven't seen this movie, please don't go looking for it. It ain't there anymore. Well, it is, but just don't look for it. Oh God, where to go here, Stephen? How do you get hold of this? Where do you want to go?
I think maybe we start off at the beginning, just with your patented Foley synopsis.
All right, you want to go there? Okay, fair enough.
Your Caine or explainer.
I'm a Caine or explainer. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You're probably right. There's an awful lot of bad detail to get into here. Anyway, so let's get the plot out of the way. So, by the way, this is also called the Destructors. Just in case anybody's kind of going, the real kind of deep dark web Caine fans are going, hang on a minute, what about? Have you missed the Destructors? No, we're doing it now. It's also called the Marseilles Contract. Now that that's out the way, Anthony Quinn, he plays Steve Ventura, a hard-bitten New Jersey boy who's head of the DEA in Paris, trying to arrest a guy called Jacques Brizard, an untouchable drug lord who's played by James Maaasssoon with bad sunglasses and a worse French accent. It actually sounds like
I have 2 daughters, both barely alive.
It sounds like he's having a stroke when he's trying to do a French accent.
James Maaasssoon.
So Steve, Anthony Quinn's character, decides he's going to because he's so sick of not being able to catch him, he decides to take a contract out to whack him, and he's helped by a French police chief to sort it out. So he hires a guy who turns out to be his old friend John DeRay, who's of course Caine. That's 25 minutes in, by the way. So Caine's lolling about the place he's not even in the film for the first 25 minutes. They have a lovely reunion in a park and then settle on killing someone. And of course, DeRay then heads off to Marseille, where Brizard is living, to kill him. So he takes Brizard, I would say, in the style actually of Gambit many moons ago, about 15 seconds to figure out that DeRay isn't who he says he is and is actually a killer. Brizard eventually takes him on as an employee while trying to pick the right time to kill him. And in the meantime, DeRay is also making woo-woo with Brizard's daughter.
You think who?
Woo, yeah. Woo, with Brizard's daughter. That's who. So Brizard settles anyway on killing DeRay. I don't even know how I'm just going to call him DeRay from now. DeRay. Killing him at a rendezvous with some other crowd, exchanging money or something. Anyway, they plant drugs on DeRay. Turns out it's the cops. So they try and arrest DeRay, but he escapes. Again, he somehow gets away, meets Ventura, and they decide, you know what we're going to do? We're going to kill Brizard together. So there's a big drug shipment coming in. They know Brizard will be there because that's what drug lords do. They turn up at big, massive, importations of drugs. That's what they're always there. Anyway, they rock up, and of course, they find the police chief from earlier on in Paris. He's trying to kill Brizard. He's been in league with him all along and take the dope for himself. But as it turns out, he gets killed in the shootout. DeRay gets hit yet again. A Mick Caine character doesn't make it to the end of the movie. And Ventura gets away, leaves, and arrives shortly afterwards at a charity ball being held the same night by Brizard, who, of course, in the style of major drug lords, is also a major local figure and a philanthropist of sorts. Anyway, Ventura waltzes over, literally, by the way, waltzes over, and shoots him discreetly. And he shoots him discreetly.
I thought they were at the party.
He shoots him discreetly on the dance floor, and that's pretty much where it ends. That's pretty much your art.
Yeah,
off you go.
Yeah, so off I go. I mean, this is just awful, but I mean, it's not awful in the way that Deadfall or Black Windmill or The Magus or any of those were awful. This is just shit.
Yeah, and it knows it's shit.
It knows it's kind of knows it's shit. So it's. I mean, I'm not angry at this movie at all. I just from scene one you go, all right, like this starts off with the slowest assassination of an undercover cop I've ever seen in my life. So it reminded me that Austin Powers scene where he's on the steamroller and he's very slowly running over the henchman, and the henchman's like screaming for about 5 minutes. Similar. They were kind of going, bang, the Brizard's henchman kind of knocks him and pins him against the wall. And then
they're driving a car.
They're
driving a car.
Driving a car very slowly, pins him against the wall. And you kind of go, all right, this is terrible. And your man kind of, no. Looks at his watch. No. Back up a bit. No. Eventually kill him. You cut to then Anthony Quinn post-coitus.
Yes. Not a good look.
Not a good look. Like, I would start off here. You hate Anthony Quinn. I am also ambivalent towards Anthony Quinn. I think the major issue with Anthony Quinn in this is, as you say, Anthony Quinn is playing a guy from New Jersey named Steve.
Yeah,
and this is not a role Anthony Quinn was born to play. Yeah. Anthony Quinn is meant to be the kind of guy who kind of bursts forth from a vineyard, surrounded by 58 grandchildren, and 13 wives, going, aha, I love life, I love fucking,
let's eat,
I love eat,
we must eat,
let's eat. Must eat. This comes from my own vineyard, and such and so on. And this is not him. This is kind of, he's a down at look, fairly impotent DEA agent. I think there's one scene, like, it transpires that he's having an affair with the wife of the guy who's killed very slowly at the start of the movie.
Yes.
And there's a scene in this where the wife is leaving with her son, and Quinn tries basically to fucking shift her in the back of the car right in front of the son.
She gives him the cheek, like
they're fleeing for safety, because in case Brizard kills them as well. And he's there basically trying to get one last tongue down her throat, while her son, who's just lost his father about 2 days ago, looks on. This is not a man who is fully in charge of his mental fucking faculties.
He's not in charge of anything. He keeps saying to the kid as well in that scene, "Yo, see ya, champ. Okay, champ," as though like he's laying the groundwork for some kind of stepfather-y kind of role down the track. Ain't going to be happening, Quinn.
You'll be talking about this in therapy in 15 years, champ.
It's not happening, Quinn. It's just not happening. He's terrible, but he's terrible in everything. I know that there are people out there going, Anthony Quinn, Hollywood legend. Anthony Quinn is terrible. He's just terrible, and I just get annoyed. Even thinking about him. So so he waved them goodbye from their taxi off to the airport, which reminds me of when he brings the news about her husband's death. She kind of so they usher the very annoying child actor out of the room, and she's standing there, and he tells her that her husband has been killed the previous night, and she's kind of like, okay, walks into the other room, and then you just hear. And it's like, has she seen a mouse? What's happened? Is
Frank?
It's like, what? It's the worst reaction to a death of a loved one I've ever seen on screen.
Between basically the very slow murder, the kind of terrible dialogue between him and your one in the bedroom, followed by when he hears about your man being murdered. Come here. What's the relationship between him and the woman in the office? Is that meant to be his secretary?
Oh, it is, yeah. But I think the woman
in the office,
she's
fucking dreadful. She kind of, what's going on, Steve? Is everything okay?
She's kind of like, she's kind of like, you know what I can be for you, Steve? I can be a mother. I can be a lover. I can be your drinking buddy. I can answer the phones. You want me to press your shirts? I'll do that. I'll press your shirts.
Yeah, it's a real.
We're in this together, Steve. We're in this. A load of shite.
But there's a scene in you going about editing or continuity.
Can I just say about it before you go on, because this is, and I'm sorry for cutting across you, but I mean for people listening, going, these lads around about continuity and editing, like this is not something that we normally, you just don't notice these things in movies until they're done this
until
badly.
They're done really badly. There's a scene where like his secretary comes in. She's like, "What's wrong, Steve? Oh, everything is terrible." He's there. And he's after hitting the bottle. Like she goes, "Do you have a second glass?" Sure, I do. It's just he's shown with a bottle and a glass in front of him. She sits down, and now he has two bottles in front of him. I mean, this is not a case of that's your nitpicking. It is fucking clear as day.
Yeah,
there's not like it's right. You do not need to rewind and kind of go, "Oh no, it is clearly this is a fucking these people don't give a shit basically what's going on," and you know straight away. Right, strap yourself in.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're in
strap
B-movie
yourself.
territory.
Yeah, totally. And it is so clear as day. It is the high point of a succession of these kind of continuity errors, kind of chases that where the guy who runs away gets about a 3 or 4 or 5 second start on the guys getting out of the car or whatever it would be. But you know what's actually very appropriate here? We spent the first 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes talking about this movie, and we haven't really mentioned Caine yet, which is about the same length of time proportionally that he's not in the actual movie. 25 minutes passes before the lad arrives. I think it's useful actually before we go any further to just give a little bit of context about this movie. You mentioned in the previous episode, like this is the first movie where he's taken the check because it's handy for the family.
No, this is the first time he says. No, does not mean it was the first time that he's done it. It's the first time where he's admitted, oh, this is the first time I've taken a job without reading the script or anything like that, which we know is bollocks. Again,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a story that suits his family circumstances at the time. It's like, things were busy at home, newborn, so I was just taking it so I could be close to the family.
Yeah, he took the whole family. He took them all to France. Like they stayed he stayed at the Georges V in Paris, which is a very swanky hotel in Paris, and then down the south of France, away from the British winter. He was happy out. This was entirely the modus operandi here, and no more knows. I have to say, on that note, he does look in chipper form on screen. Like, I mean, he's happy out.
Well, he's happy out. I mean,
nothing to do with the character. Like, he just looks happy.
Not to talk. Just well rested and well fed.
His
introduction is fucking brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's the kind of thing I want on my business card. Very cautious man. He has many women. He lives alone. He drives fast cars. And then you pan up like lived in early 40s Caine.
Yeah, but this is the voiceover. He's as many women, and you're introduced to Caine. He's got one of those jewelers magnifying glass in his eye, and he's there, and he's peering on, and you see he's repairing a record stylus. If you've ever seen a record stylus, the screws are quite large in it. You would want to be as blind as a fucking bat. It's like, like that's like maybe if he's working on a watch or something, precision, time is everything to him. No, a record. What's handy, lads? We're up against the clock here now. Record player, that's grand.
Let's go. Moving on.
But we talked about his position. What about women? Oh, just a quick shot of him having a bird in the bed. Yeah, off we go. There's that's it, and we're done. And that's the introduction to him. This precision killing machine. Lover, driver.
And then he lands in he lands in first time he meets Steve Quinn like in the park, and it's all right. Quinn is like constantly with a hanky out, kind of basically wiping snot from every part of himself.
Yeah, like a hanky foreplay
trying to get his attention. This is obviously his red carnation moment, But what actually happens is like this precision clinical killer arrives up and goes, Steve, how was the form, boy? Haven't seen you in years, boy. How was the story? And your man's like, hey, D-Ray, what are you doing here, buddy? Hey, let's go have a meal or something. And the man's like, I'm just waiting to meet a guy. He said, I'm the guy you're meeting. I'm the killer. Me? Max and me, the killer. It's unreal, boy. Since we worked together, I haven't changed a bit, though. I still watch TV. I still, drive cars, and I like the birds and what have you. But I'm a killer now, boy. Here, listen, just send me the details. He's walking off with this. Send me the details, send me the money. I'll meet you here later on, all right, kid? It's so unbelievable.
I think I'm being a bit harsh. No, you're not being harsh at all. It was, so not exactly the kind of discreet lads kicking a suitcase to each other in the park. Everybody wearing a trench coat kind of meet. No, it's
This is shouting across the bar at Christmas time stuff. I haven't seen you since last New Year's, boy.
You're still doing the killing. I am feeling up to my eyes. All days and corpses, boy. But it hasn't changed me a bit.
No. Still watching the TV. I love it. Love the TV. Keeps going on about television. So what is Buck Caine's performance? What can we say? Where do you want to go? I mean, I'm immediately, I just think of the car chase. I mean, if we're thinking of one good thing in this, there's a kind of is it a car chase? It's kind of Caine in an Alfa Romeo and Brizard's daughter in a Porsche, kind of driving on a really narrow road. It's almost like driving cars very fast as flirting stroke seduction, isn't it? It is the best bit of the movie.
It is by far the best bit of the movie. It's really well directed. It's the one part of Roy Budd's score that didn't make me want to stick a ice pick in my ears.
He's gone a long way from Get Carter, hasn't he? He's back with the tablas as well.
Has he really? Gone for it? He's not a man with many strings to his bow or sitar or fucking harpsichord or whatever the fuck it is.
I like to Get Carter music, but he's a long way from it now.
Yeah, no, it's as you said, the highlight of the scene. you were going on about GoldenEye, the scene with Pierce Brosnan and Famke Janssen's on a top off or something like that. The character's name. It's a similar scene from that. Also, Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise and Tandy Newton doing their kind of again more or less a bit more slow motion ballet as John Woo is prone to do. But yeah, pretty much inspired by this, which is it's an odd one, isn't it? Kind of Marseilles Contract has one scene that is actually inspired to, I don't know. Yeah. Much better movies anyway. Well, no, hang on. Mission Impossible 2 is a fucking dreadful movie.
GoldenEye isn't hectic.
But GoldenEye isn't hectic. But it hasn't aged well at all.
No, it hasn't. But it's fair to say it has definitely inspired two excellent car chase stroke flirting scene. It is weird. It is weird that would. But to be fair, like when we what
other scenes were they going to lift from this?
Exactly.
When Caine manages to push a guy off the top of a building and like a cart. And it takes your man about 30 seconds to fall off. That's the one. Like, were there no?
He has to backpedal
just for a second take. It's not like they were actually throwing a guy out. I think there's only one take. This is Barry. He's fierce suicidal. This is how he wanted to go. It's like a bucket list thing for him.
Yeah.
It's like going. Always in life, I wanted to be killed by Michael Caine. Once I saw Alfie, I said, "This is the man who must take my life from me." I'm so honored. So, Michael, we've one take in this now, right? Mm-hmm. Just one push and off he goes. It's not like that. That I assume that maybe it did happen. I don't know. It's Hollywood. Anything goes, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I imagine they could have gone for a second take. But instead they went with Caine being tested by Brazar in terms of his loyalty to murder. Go kill that guy for 50 grand. Goes over, gives him the gentlest of taps.
Oh, it's a tip.
He basically he goes, looks behind him. And then just launches himself off the top of the building.
He has to backpedal about a yard before he goes down. It's incredible. They go down
right. And Caine or D-Ray gets off. One of Brizar's henchmen wants his wallet. So he can plant evidence that he's murdered your man, which he happily gives them. And he says, "What about?" So he says, "What about the police identifying him?" He goes, "Oh, when I'm done with them, they won't recognize him." 30 seconds later, yeah, we found your informant, all right, in a building site. And your mate the Ray did it.
It's just unbelievable stuff. Just to go back very briefly to the car chase thing that we mentioned there, I have to say, as you know, I'm a bit of a Caine skeptic when it comes to the whole cool 70s icon bit. But I mean, it has to be said, he's gone full Hollywood Partridge in the outfit for this one. Like, I mean, I wish I could do the Partridge sports casual voice, because he's got the white polo neck, he's got the blue velvet jacket, he's got the black driving gloves.
He's got the tinted sunglasses as well, the kind of yellow tinted sunglasses.
Yeah, tinted sunglasses. The cars are beautiful. He looks about 20 years older than Brizard's daughter. Completely, like these would not be ever get together at all, But the gear to be fair is top. The gear to be fair is top in this now.
Yeah, there used to. I don't know. There used to be in Dublin a shop called Unique. And it used to specialize in this kind of leather jackets that your father might have worn, and it's like that. It's like they've sprung fresh from the catalog or fresh from Unique's catalog. Because Anthony Quinn in one scene wears a shirt, a heavy black leather trench coat, and on top of that, a beige trench coat on top of it.
He's sweating. He's sweating like a hog under that. Oh my God! But Caine's leather jacket.
There's a red and black leather jacket of this with kind of nipple zips in it. It looks like he's about to give succor to a litter of fucking piglets.
It's like something out of the Fast and the Furious crossed with Euro Rock. It's incredible. We will put up pictures of these items for your perusal. They are incredible. Incredible. Do you want some? By the way, before we move away from the cars, very quickly, do you want some Caine car facts? Sorry, let me put that another way. This is a question where you say yes.
All right.
Yes, thank you. I've spent some time getting these, Don't just ask this stuff and go, and you say no, and I'm going, it's grand. That's like a load of time I spend getting car facts, and I don't get to reel them off. So, sit back and relax.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a real gearhead. So please impress me with your Caine car facts.
Well, the question I had, I asked you this the other day, actually, was could Caine drive at this point in his career? And it turns out he actually learned to drive on the set of The Italian Job. Then he bought a Rolls. His his first and only car, in actual fact, was a lovely Rolls Royce. But when he bought it, the insurance company told him, you can't learn to drive in that thing. Like the premium for a learner driver in that particular Rolls is so ridiculous. So they wouldn't insure him. So it was actually cheaper for him to hire a driver. So it wasn't until he went to Hollywood. He was 50 before he passed his driving test. And it turns out that the guy who was the examiner was a fan. He basically told Caine, you'll have to be really shit at this to fail. So he drove for 20 years, quit when he was 70. What other car facts do I have? Actually, Remy Julien, who was the head guy of the stunt drivers in the Italian Job, his wife was actually his stunt double. I cannot remember if we mentioned that in the Italian Job episode, but there you go. She was Caine's stunt double in the Italian Job. What else? Oh yeah, he voiced Finn McMissile in Cars 2.
Oh, well, that's the most important fact of all.
Something to look
That's very
forward to.
impressive. Does that mean we have to? That does not mean we have to watch that Cars 2.
Oh, we'll bundle that up with something else. Don't worry. That's we'll bundle that up with the rest of with Sherlock Gnomes and the rest of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Go back to car chases. One thing I want to get. All right, there is a car chase in this where after he escapes from where he's being double crossed and he's been set up by Brizard and he's running from these undercover cops.
Yeah.
He does a great Grand Theft Auto on the car as well. He shoots the gas tank, then blows up the car.
Yes.
Escapes to the van, and then there's this completely superfluous car chase scene where he's going down a motorway. Cop starts chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and starts driving in the opposite lane, and then manages to overturn the cop car. And then movie goes on. No need for it whatsoever. It was literally like somebody went, "Can we put another car chase in there? Just kind of let's French Connection this thing up, like, you know, just kind of."
Yeah, like it's almost like we're contractually obliged to have at least 2 car chases in this. We need to shoehorn one in here somewhere.
Yeah.
By the way,
the other thing is before you interrupt me yet again. Before I'm,
who knew we'd have so much to say about this movie?
Who exactly? I mean, look, you're interrupting my flow. You're like a kidney stone. I don't know where I am now. I was there. I was in the zone, and you took me out of the zone. Now I don't know where the zone is.
You can get back to the zone. Work away.
The lack of sufficient cardio for Brizard's henchmen. It seems like they need to implement some sort of mandatory fitness test before they bring any of these guys on, because they are so out of shape.
Yeah.
Anthony Quinn, now, God bless him, as Ventura, is a guy, let's be honest, who could probably get about 20 feet before he needs to have an injection of a cocktail of red wine and olive oil in order to get his cholesterol up to that right level to keep him going.
I would also say
he manages to incapacitate one of Brizard's henchmen with a rolled up newspaper, and I'm not talking about a kind of a John Wick where he rolls it up so tight and he then stuffs it down their throat and he kills them. No, he basically crumples it into their face like ink.
Le Monde.
My one weakness.
Yeah,
your man basically takes so long. He's like reading. The Suez Canal crisis. I don't have no idea what this is.
Drug seizure in Marseille. Mon Dieu. He's getting away.
Michael Caine is filming here. Oh, I love Alfie. Meanwhile, Anthony Quinn's hopping on a fucking metro about fucking 15 minutes later.
God.
Paris Saint-Germain have signed Messi. Oh no, this is a future paper.
It's like it's one of many chase scenes where, again, the continuity of the editing comes into it, where the guy who's getting away, whether it's Quinn or Caine, right, gets away, and basically they give him a 5 to 10 second head start in real time.
It's like they've all the induction in Brizard's organization. It's like, lads, first of all, we're all about fair play, right? Fair play. You're guarding somebody, you're going to kill somebody. Do you know what? And they manage to get away from you. You give them a good 30-second head start. It's fair play. I want y'all. What a pleasure now, fair play. That's it. Also, do you know what? Eat croissants away all day. No problem. There'll be no further fitness tests after this moment on here.
It kind of the same as in the last episode. We were talking about, the idea of having like a kind of an audit and risk committee for your mob gang. That's for your mob gang. I sound like I sound like a real dad. In this case, I think
no, you're not going out tonight. I don't want you joining one of those mob gangs and do one of those cocaine drugs.
So I think in this case we're really talking about again, for a mob gang, the importance of having a strength and conditioning expert in the background, getting you ready for these chases. I mean, I have to say though, I do think, while yes, you're right, Anthony Quinn is the kind of guy who is injecting olive oil and red wine to keep the cholesterol levels high. He's also the kind of guy who gets to his 70s and will shout loudly at a huge table of 40 people, relations there for their dinner. He'll stand up and go, I'm still doing 100 press-ups every day. Oh yeah, just watch me. I'll do 20 right now.
Punch me in the stomach. Punch me in the stomach.
Punch me right now. Go on. I can feel nothing. He's one of those guys too. But what else now? No, okay. So there's a couple of very quick things, right? Sports Caine. Quick word on the 10-pin bowling. I mean, a fine sign of opulence to having 10-pin bowling. I think Daniel Plainview had one as well, if I recall rightly. In
you're giving him his Western name now and not his Indian name as you gave me in WhatsApp or Gmail yesterday. Daniel Plaintrees, proud Chippewa and oil prospector.
Well, Caine rolls a bowl. He rolls a bowl, and I swear to God, the way he comes back up having rolled the bowl, I really, really thought that man needs now to lie down and have a good hour with a chiropractor. Again, Sports Caine, not a good look. Erotic Caine. Did you spot erotic Caine?
It's erotic Caine in this. He's very, again, there's no messing with wooing here. It's you're pretty much from zero. The car chase was the foreplay, and that was pretty much it. Brizard's daughter is fully smitten by this mysterious, much older gentleman.
Yeah, there's also the scene where he meets Brizard's daughter, who he's now, as I was saying earlier, making proper woo with, and he tells her, he gives her some advice, like he's gone off to do a job, whatever. Well, it doesn't matter. He says, go home, get in a nice hot bath, cover yourself with perfume. Actually, even at this point, when he's delivering the line, it's like he's running out of erotic ideas as he's talking, and cover yourself in silk sheets. And I'm like going, that just sounds like a sopping, smelly mess to me. It's like you're in the bath, cover yourself in perfume, and now pull the sheets into the bath. What do you know how hard it is to sort silk sheets out if you get them that way? What are you?
Oh, I bought your expertise on silk sheets here.
What's wrong with you? It's just, oh God, the hot jazz scene. There's a great hot jazz scene where he's chatting to the daughter, and it's beautiful cocktail lounge. Oh,
beautiful cocktail. Oh my God. Did you see the state of the glasses? The glasses were fucking filthy.
It's just atrocious.
No, lads, can we not just get 2 clean glasses for these lads to drink from?
Oh, jeez.
Again, this is me nitpicking, obviously, but it was the 70s, so everything was fucking disgusting.
And you're watching
and your one is shot like she's in a fucking shampoo commercial. It's like every time they cut her, it's like, have I gotten glaucoma? Or my cataracts acting up here? Because it's like, or then you come back to Caine and then it's clear cut to her, and it's like a thin film of Vaseline has been smeared over the lens.
It strikes me it's the kind of movie overall, right? That it's the kind of movie, if you're like, I don't know, in your early 20s, if you're either in college or unemployable and you're watching movies at this is the kind of one you'd watch at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, either hammered or off your face, and you'll just laugh yourself stupid, and you'll be talking about it for a week afterwards. There's just so much stupidity in this, and it's rubbish, but a completely inoffensive rubbish.
Yeah, this is there's a scene in this where Quinn is down by the docks and he's like, no, I'm not going to kill Brizard. I'm going to call the head off and I'm going to get him the old-fashioned way, plant evidence on him. and then the score gets all dramatic and he starts to slowly walk into the sunset. You go, what the fuck is going on here? Is this the end of the movie?
It's like the closing credits for The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he's like walking away slowly and there's a sunset and this kind of dramatic movie. So he says, nope, we've got another 10 minutes left. What the fuck is
completely pointless. Completely pointless.
I think covered James Maaasssoon setting his gaff up like he's in fucking Sliver.
Oh, go on, yeah, go on.
I also want to say this ties into this. I think would probably give listeners an inclination of the psychological toll this podcast has taken on you, because you sent me going, is James Maaasssoon banging his daughter?
Yeah, I got all deadfall about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was implied. I just think James Maaasssoon likes to watch.
Terrible accent. It's a terrible accent. And you need to do it with a hint of French as well.
James Maaasssoon.
Oh, sounds like I'm revving a motorcycle.
Really. Oh, the motorcycle. That's the last thing. Before we start to wrap this thing up, right? The motorcycle. I just love these kind of scenes. So Caine is doesn't matter what he's. I think he's getting away. Let's just say he's getting away. I don't know, is he chasing or getting away? Yes. But like, there's this scene where he's kind of, rummaging through a bunch of motorcycles that are parked up, and he finds one, and he finds it really difficult to push it off stage left, right? So he's pushing it really slowly. Yeah. He's clearly wrecked. He can't push it, and it cuts straight away to someone who's smaller, lighter, on this motorbike, doing wheelies, and flying down a set of steps. And I have to, it just had me in pieces. It was the first time in a Caine movie so far, I was just collapsed laughing. Glorious. Glorious.
For me, it was the slow push off the top of the building.
Yeah.
That did that for me. Let's go look at the competence of Caine in this movie from a higher killer's perspective. He's got quite a high body count in this.
Oh, we complained when he was Harry Palmer, the spy, that he didn't kill enough. I mean, he is whacking guys left, right, and centre in this film.
Yeah, actually quite competently. So he's quite good at killing, except for the end where he decides that some guy shoot him in the back.
Yeah,
momentary lapse in concentration. I assume brought about by passion or some such. We had shooting some lad breaking into his hotel room using a pillow as a silencer. Classic double tap at the back of the head.
Very.
Now, as you say again, putting said dead body into a wardrobe, then failing to fold him correctly. The only reason for the scene where he's on the phone to Anthony Quinn is for the body to fall. Like, this would be a hilarious bit. It'd be hilarious for the body to fall out, smash the mirror on the wardrobe door, collapse, making a terrible noise. For Anthony Quinn to go, "What was that?" Somebody just dropped in. That was the only reason for that. That's purely somebody in the day go, wouldn't it be funny if? Oh, brilliant. This in no way fits the tone of the movie, but I can't deny you your ability to improvise so fantastically. We'll throw this in.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. The more we talk about this movie, the more love I actually have for it. I'd probably never watch it again. But if it came on and I was sitting with someone, I'd say, hang on a minute, no, we'll just leave it on for 5 or 10 minutes because such and such is going to happen. You've got to see what happens here. That's not to say I'd be encouraging anybody to go and find this film.
It's 90 minutes. It's 89 minutes, in fact. So, Jesus, for God. Yeah.
Caine's actually on screen an hour, exactly an hour. He comes in 20 after 25 minutes and he's gone after an hour and 25 minutes. In, out, job done, back to the Georges Cinq or back to the Villa in Marseille or whatever. One good thing that came out of this, I was saying this to you the other day. I did a little bit of I'm kind of putting 2 and 2 together here, but it's got to be. He tells a very famous story that he keeps telling it over and over again back to years about how he got the role for The Man Who Will Be King with John Huston. And it starts off with Huston ringing him and Caine doesn't think it's Huston. And it turns out...
I'm gonna have to stop you here now.
Why?
You get the train to Dublin. What station are you going to from Cork?
Dublin.
What's the name of the station?
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, right. But how do you spell Houston Station, Dublin?
Here.
Heuston. Spell Houston. Houston. I'll leave it to the public to decide. I'm going with
the
Houston.
The public will tell me, all right, it's Houston. It's his surname is pronounced Houston, not Huston or Houston.
I'll be moving on from Houston.
Here's a Huston.
Can I tell my story? Time is moving on.
No, absolutely, and I just dream about Preetzi's Honor, which starred the magnificent Angelica Houston.
Okay, anyway, so the director of The Man Who Will Be King.
Hang on, who dropped? Whose ton is this?
Anyway, he rings Caine. Caine doesn't think it's him. Caine says he was staying in the Georges Cinq.
And I figured out, do you know why I didn't think it was him? Because he introduced himself as John Huston. Who the fuck is this? Barry, you prick. Stop wasting my time.
So he's in the Georges Cinq, gets the call. John Huston says, I'm next door in the bar, in the hotel next door. Come over. It's like we're about a year away from The Man Who Will Be King. He offers Caine the gig in this meeting. So I'm assuming that he's shooting the Marseilles Contract when he gets offered the gig for The Man Who Will Be King. So isn't that a nice thing that came out of the Marseilles Contract? He got the gig.
I suppose I've not seen The Man Who Will Be King. So
well, look, I leave.
I reserve my judgment.
Are we done here? Is it time for marks for Caine, marking the performance rather than the movie in this case?
Yeah, I suppose inconsistency in terms of how Brisard's lads kill people. Mm-hmm. Basically, they run them over, no warning, shoot an informant in broad daylight in Paris, going, "Hey, you!" turns around and shoots him.
Yeah.
When they have Caine dead to rights outside the yacht club in Marseille, your man pretends to be a tourist looking for directions and gives Caine, again, all about fair play. Just inconsistency. I would, like, if I was their manager, I'd be kind of going, lads, really, somebody drop the ball here.
The guy playing the tourist, he gives him every opportunity. He gives Caine every opportunity to shoot him first before he actually shoots Caine. It's pretty shabby. I mean, compared to the high class contract killer that Caine is, I mean, I'd hire him. You know, I'd hire him. I would. Brizard's men, not so much. Not so much. I don't know what I'd hire them to do. Certainly not contract killing.
No. What do you think of James Maaasssoon of this?
Oh, he's terrible.
You're a James Maaasssoon fan.
I'm not a James Maaasssoon fan, but again, I'm not really. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. When it comes to the Hollywood legends, there is a cohort of them that I'm not fully up with, and James Maaasssoon might be one of them. I remember him playing Captain Nemo, and I remember him from various films in the 70s, a bit like this, that were, you kind of just remember the accent. So I'm not a fan. Are you a fan?
I think he was good in like A Star Is Born. I think he was in the Judy Garland one.
Right.
Back in the day. And I liked them actually after this fucking show that terrified the shit out of me, Salem's Lot.
Oh yeah.
David Soul in it. He plays it's like the Redfield-esque character, I suppose, really, but he's kind of the master, the guy bringing the vampire into Salem's Lot, I think. But So, I think, he's pretty much in the kind of camp. The 70s really took it off a lot of the stars of the 40s and 50s out and farmed them out into TV. It was kind of, going to live in your uncle's farm down the road.
Yeah.
From an acting perspective. Yeah, he's past his prime.
Well past his prime.
There's no real, and of course, there's no real proper roles for older actors at that time in the movies. It's all for young pups like 40-year-old Michael Caine.
40-year-old stud Michael Caine. Yeah, Mason, he just has a bad French accent, and he's wearing the shades, and he's kind of faffing around, trying to be the kind of paternal influence on the daughters, while also running a multi-billion-dollar drugs empire.
The characterization it's just paper thin.
It's kind of got that, it's got that touch of it's all about the family, but it's not really. Yeah, who cares? James Maaasssoon. I would give
Robert Parrish. Sorry, I forgot Robert Parrish. The director Robert Parrish used to be a child actor and was, I believe, uncredited newsboy in Charlie Chaplin's City Lights.
Well, slap my thigh.
And Douglas Slocum is back behind the lens in this one, who was also the DP on The Italian Job.
Very nice. Very good. Presumably brought in for the car chases.
Presumably, even though let's be honest, I think he was only paying attention to, I'd say he probably was only paying attention to the highlight of the movie rather than the other ones. I think maybe being a second unit director or something, but it was,
Yeah, who could blame him?
No
what are you giving Caine?
I mean, he's having fun. I'm delighted for him. He's luxuriating in fatherhood, and I guess he's still in the first blooms of being married. So 5.
I could not agree more. I mean,
happy for you. Still had to watch this. You didn't have to do it.
Yeah, so next up now is another The film, and another one that's kind of largely been lost to history, really, under the sheer weight of crap that's been piling up with this filmography. The Wilby Conspiracy is next. Sidney Poitier and himself are off to Kenya to shoot an apartheid-era thriller. I have no clue, but I have to say the words limited release in the US creates a certain picture in my head anyway.
Either the cuffs come off tonight or the hands tomorrow.
Look, I know we should have the attitude that every day is Christmas Eve, I guess, but I think if every day is Christmas Eve, then it's Christmas Eve in the kind of household where everyone's where the parents are Jehovah's Witnesses and refuse to kind of celebrate. So
something like that. You're kind of more of a Festivus kind of feel to it. I would ordinarily say go watch it, go that. These are getting tricky to find now online, in fairness. So what I would say to people is we will find it. Don't worry about it. Come back the next time. If you can't find the Wilby Conspiracy, we'll talk you right through it in a very cohesive and concise way that we just went through the Marseilles Contract stroke The Destructors. Stephen, thank you as always.
Thanks, Mick. And as usual, if you have any questions on the Wilby Conspiracy, hit us up on Twitter at MarkCaine2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always like and subscribe. Is that right, Mick?
Absolutely. It's a nice, likable thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
That's it for this week's episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. Only nice ones, though. Mean comments will make Alfie cry, and no one wants to see that. The Michael Caine podcast is written, researched, and presented by Stephen Black and Michael Foley, and edited by Andrew Foley. Music is composed by Stephen Black. If you'd like to get in touch, you'll find us on Twitter at Mallow News and at Michael Caine 2. And if you enjoyed this episode, you'll find all the rest wherever you get your podcasts. The Mark of Caine is a Mallow News 2 Cubes production. See you next time.